During the 2015 election, we started as a technology company, private firm, and we felt that part of our corporate social responsibility, we should do one or two things that will help the democracy in the country. And we built a system that collects parallel results just to make sure that the citizens have an alternative system collating results for them. And we built it based on USSD code, and then we did some partnership with quite a number of media houses and also civic organizations to put up a parallel collation system for the elections. Pretty much we had so much participants engaging with the system, though it was a little bit tedious because then the technology wasn't advanced as now. So yes, it was pretty much successful, and we got about 17% difference with official result as at that time. Well, first of all, we realized that a lot of Nigerians, whenever there is any activity, whether elections or anything that has to do with governance bothering them, they always run to social media and express how they feel and whether they're happy or angry about it. So we decided to take advantage of that, and we built one of the pioneer crowdsourcing election monitoring systems in the region. We name it Zabe, which means choice in one of the Nigerian dialects. And it was based on an Android application and also iOS application. And we put together various teams and collaborations with different NGOs and media houses, playing different roles and bringing different contributions to the table. So it was a tough one, but we managed to pull it through. Well, during the design, the first thing we had in mind is we're putting up a system that we cannot afford the slightest compromise, because election is something that is very sensitive, and you cannot afford to put a system that will fail by any means necessary, because people are unforgiving. You cannot publish wrong information and then try to say you have a downtime or you have issues with your coding. So we made sure we had the best of technologies out there, and also we did rigorous testing using the likes of bots, whereby we created robots that were sending result before the election day. We tested with about 200,000 robots sending results at the same time to see if our server will be able to handle that much traffic. And everything turned out to be successful at the end of the day. So it's something we're really proud of. I think what made Zabe successful was, first of all, the mindset of the team that we are working with to put a project like that together. And secondly, also the participant, which is the crowd, people on ground. We recorded quite an interesting statistics. I'll give you an example. As at 5 a.m., we had 85% of the app users on their screen checking to see what was happening, that is on a day after election. So a combination of the team that drove the entire system and also the crowd that was there on ground to support a system like this are the reason behind the success of a project like this. Well, for user growth, we were able to record over 2,000% increase in number of users and during the week of election. And in terms of results, we recorded 3% difference with the official results by INEC, out of which 1.2 is as a result of no representation of information from that particular region. So entirely the whole project happened to be a successful one. And also we're able to pick out about 70% of our users are youths between the age of 18 and 35. So which shows that there is a lot of youth zeal to participate in projects like this, and we are really happy to see that. Well, of course, e-voting can be a reality, and I think a place like Nigeria that has a lot of infrastructural gap in terms of transportation. You see always the challenge the electoral body is having in terms of transporting election materials. I think e-voting has a big place to play in Nigeria. You don't receive so much complaints about banking platforms. Then I think we should be looking towards e-voting to save a lot of cost and bring about transparency. In terms of technology play in the election, there are a lot of things from voting collation, the collation systems. We can use advanced technologies in the future, in the upcoming election, to also electronic voting, or you call virtual voting. Because if you look at the amount of money that is being spent by citizens moving from one point to another, trying to go to their primary location to vote, you could see technology can play a big role there in saving a lot of costs for the citizens. And also in terms of transparency, we have seen technologies like blockchain and how they've played role in sensitive industries like banking and how successful they are. And also even within our locality, we have seen how a lot of Nigerian banks have been able to put good technology infrastructure, that are pretty much reliable. So I think we should be looking forward to implementing technologies around election that will also bring transparency and credibility to the electoral process. Well, first of all, the takeaway from Zabe is that crowd sourcing platforms are reliable and also are pretty much cheaper than conventional ways of gathering information. And also you have unbiased results and unbiased data. So this has shown also that the average citizen of Nigeria wants to participate in the democratic process. So our job now is to develop more and more platforms like this, because election only happens once in 4 years, but throughout the process between now and another 4 years, we need to engage the citizens and make sure we provide tools similar to Zabe to engage them and make sure they challenge the government to hold them accountable for what they have promised. Well, they've done pretty much okay, but there's also areas for improvement, and my call is for INEC to look forward and explore new technologies and see how they can improve their processes, and also have an opening ear to things like e-voting, e-collation, bring about technologies like blockchain, which is widely acceptable worldwide as a decentralized system for record keeping, which brings about transparency. So I think the next big thing for INEC is to see how they can use technology to improve their processes. Well, on a final note, from our own end, we'll be looking at developing more and more tools that will be used by the common man to participate in a democratic process in the country.